Hello and welcome to this News 9 special. Well, a story writing competition held by the Oakridge International saw over 1,000 kids participate, out of which the top 45 stories were chosen to be compiled into this one book called the Acorn Book of Amazing Stories. Today we have with us 7 of these little emerging Shakespeares. Well, 7 of these amazing writers join us live in our studios right now. First of all, we have Lasya, who is 11 years old. Congratulations, you were one of the winners. Your story has been published as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, second, we have Aniket Gupta, who is 8 years old. And followed by which we have Niyati, who is 12 years old. And after that, we have Urjit, who is 11 years old. And you're from Delhi Public School, right?
Yes.
Okay, after him, we have Ada Sandy, who is 6.9 years old is what you said. So she's turning 7. And then we have Kunjal, who is 11 years old. And finally, Ananya Jain, who is 10 years old. So you can see all of these little kids, all of them with an amazing imagination. Let's find out from themselves. Let them explain their stories to us. Now, first of all, Lasya, your story was called The United Jungle. Take us through what it was about.
My story was all about, I had a moral written in it. United we stand and divided we fall.
Okay.
So I even wrote that if you fight, it may lead you to apart from each other. My story is about animals in north and south. The north had a king and he was really good and he understood his people's feeling. And in the south there was no king, so there was a big problem. In the north there was really a bad situation where they didn't have any rain.
Okay.
Then the people started to complain, we don't have food to eat. So the north kings decided that we'll go to the south and eat our food. Then the old tiger over there says that no, I'm not coming because this is my land. And then everybody migrates to south. Then over there, they also start to become rude and starts fighting. Then the old tiger comes and tells them that you were like this, and he takes them back to the North land.
Okay. Did you get inspired from somewhere? Because it sounds like almost a country story.
Yeah, I got inspired because I had read one. My mother has inspired me, and I love to imagine a lot. So all this imagination also led me to write a story.
Okay, so before we go on, before I ask Aniket about what your story is, can all of you hold up the books for the people to see what exactly it got published into? That is the book that all of their stories got into. In fact, 45 little kids, all of them pretty much in the age group of 6 to 12 have got their stories published in this. Aniket, you are 8 years old. Tell us what your story is about. It's called The Enormous Apple. Is it a Snow White story? Okay, what is it about?
It is about a boy named Henry James, and one day he enters an enormous apple growing in his garden.
Okay, and then what happens? Do you not want to give it away? Okay, for more on that story, you'll have to actually buy the book, right? Niyati, take us through what your story is.
My story is about a tree. I wrote this story because I realized that not many people give importance to a tree. They don't even take care of a tree. Such as if you take help from the tree, like you go sit under its shade, while leaving you don't even say thank you. Also, if you hurt the tree, you don't even say sorry. While I was writing, I realized that parents are exactly like the trees in our life. They help us in many ways, and sometimes we don't even say thank you. Sometimes we even are mean to them and we don't even say sorry. The parents are like the trees in our life. In other words, they are the shadow in our life.
What a beautiful thought. I bet your parents must be so proud of you at this point for writing on them in such a beautiful way. Well, congratulate these little Shakespeares for their outstanding performance and the fact that they've actually got a book at this very young age. You can call News 9 on 08022360304 or 05, or you can also SMS us your views at 56006890. Next up, we have Urshit. Take us through what your book is about. It's called A Strange Visitor, and we also understand you got the first place in your age group. So congratulations on that. Take us through your story.
Thank you. My story was called The Strange Visitor. It was about a scientist who comes back from the past and in his time machine and visits and lands in my house.
Okay.
So and then he asked me to come back in the past with him and takes me back in time.
So it's based on you. It's an adventure you want to dream about. So is this something you've always wanted to happen, to go back in time?
I would like to see an old Formula 1 race.
Okay, so that's what you want to go back in time for. Did you write about that?
Yes.
You did? Great. Okay, so we've got an F1 fan at such a tender age. Next, Ida. You seem to be dreaming already. Are you thinking of another story to write about? Okay, you're the youngest here. So you're 7 years old. At that age, not many of us would be able to even write a story. Take us through what your story is about. It's called A Big Surprise. What is the surprise?
My story is about a girl who met Santa
Okay.
and was giving gifts to others, who was helping Santa.
Okay.
And
That's it? Do you love Santa?
yeah.
Are you
But
waiting
he
for
never
Christmas
gives
to
me a
come? Sorry?
He never gives me a gift.
He never gives you a gift. I'm sure this Christmas he will, considering you wrote about him. Kunjal, take us through your story. You're 11 years old. Your story was called The Mosquito Dares. Has it got something to do with malaria?
No, it's not got anything to do with malaria. It's about the ancient history of mosquitoes. They were first plant eaters who lived, oddly enough, in a school, an abandoned school complex, cut off from the main population.
Okay.
They are ruled by an old lazy king.
Who's also a mosquito?
Yes, he is also a mosquito, and the king has delegated all the work to his 9 ministers, and does nothing all day apart from using his imagination to create new laws. So one day in his boredom, he decides to go exploring the school and discovers a passageway out into the outside world, and leads his swarm out into freedom, out of the old musty school corridors.
And that's how they became the dreadful mosquitoes?
Yeah.
It almost sounds like an animated movie, your story. Next, of course, we have Ananya. Tell us your story. Your story is called Sucked In. It sounds almost like a sequel to Kunjal's story.
Well, actually, the story is about a girl who's playing on the computer, and it's dinner time and her mother's calling her. But actually, she doesn't hear. She's really busy in her game, and suddenly she gets sucked into the computer.
Okay.
And she has to face the wizard called Mag face to face, and it's all about how she defeats the wizard Mag with her Maggie.
Have you always dreamt that would happen to you when you're sitting on the computer?
Not really.
Okay, so how many of you, I mean, all of you gave me what your stories are about. It's all amazing, I must say, but we understand that thousands of students participated. We saw thousands of children come together and write different stories. Are you all very imaginative? Do you all love going into another world? Niyati?
Sometimes it's fun, like dreaming about things which are kind of impossible, but you might feel that maybe sometime it'll happen, like.
Okay, so you hope it happens.
Yeah, but it's kind of impossible.
By a show of hands, how many of you want to become writers in the future?
Is there anything about part-time?
Part-time. And what about the other time?
A scientist.
A scientist. Okay, so you're more of a science person.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your inspiration? First of all, Aniket, you seem to be raising your hand with full enthusiasm. Who's your inspiration? Who do you want to be like? Do you read a lot of books? Okay, whose books do you read?
Geronimo Stilton and
Can you speak up?
Geronimo Stilton and Harry Potter series.
Do you want to be like J.K. Rowling? You do? Do you think that she's very creative and that's what led you to start writing? Okay. We've got a caller now who wants to congratulate all of you. We've got Sushma joining us over the phone line. Sushma, go ahead. It looks like we have lost her, but we will try to connect her again. Last year, you did raise your hand. What do you want to become?
I want to become a math teacher.
You want to become a math teacher?
Yeah.
Wow. So not many of us, I bet, like math here. But, okay. What about you? You love math?
Yeah, I love math.
Okay. So are you one of those people who's always on the top of your class?
No, but then I love math because it's a bit interesting because you need to put your whole brain over there, and you know it'll be a bit fun doing math sometimes because we get to do activities on it.
Yeah, but like you said, because we have to use our whole brain, a lot of us don't like it much. We've got Sushma back on the phone line joining us. Yes, Sushma, what do you have to say? Right, it seems like we have lost her again. It looks like there's a serious problem with her phone. Anyway, Urjit, you also didn't raise your hand. Do you want to become an F1 driver? What is with your love for Formula One? Not many people your age, I bet, like racing so much. It's all cricket.
When I was young, I used to like cars a lot, and then when I was around 3 years old, my grandfather gave me a gift, a car, and said it was Michael Schumacher's car. So then that's when I became a fan of Formula One.
So your biggest idol is Michael Schumacher? Okay. So you follow F1 religiously? But you wouldn't consider becoming a writer, considering you can use F1 in your books and it seems to be working very well for you.
I think I'll become a writer once I cannot race in F1.
Okay. Ida, what do you want to become?
Author.
You're about 7 years old, so you already decided you want to be an author. You know, at your age, most of us will be probably busy playing around, but are you somebody who loves writing?
I love reading.
Do you like writing a lot? Do you keep writing?
I like reading and writing.
Okay, great. Okay, so we've got Sushma once again joining us over the phone line. Sushma, go ahead. You want to congratulate them? Do you have any message? Please speak.
Hello?
Yes, Sushma, go ahead.
Hello, congratulate children.
Okay, Sushma, if you can lower your TV volume and then speak to us, if you have any message to say, if you can say that after lowering your TV volume.
Hello?
Yes, Sushma, go ahead, speak.
Hello?
Right. Thank you so much, Sushma. Well, it looks like a lot of kids are inspired by you all. But Kunjal, take us through your inspiration. Who do you want to become? Like you said, half author, half scientist. That's a combination that's rather bizarre.
I would like to become like Einstein because he discovered so many very important principles and theories. And also like Stephen Hawking because I read his books, and the way he writes, it's almost like you can imagine being there in space, actually seeing what's going on.
Well, I understand you're only 11 years old and you've read about Stephen Hawking, you've read about Einstein. You're going to go somewhere, I tell you that. Do you plan on writing on science?
Actually, I'm 13.
Sorry?
I'm 13 years old.
You're 13 years old, but that's still very young to be reading on Stephen Hawking. So do you plan on writing about science?
Yeah, once I understand more of it.
Okay, great. We have another caller joining us who wants to talk to all of you. We've got Radha from Bomanahalli joining us over the phone. And yes, Radha, what do you have to say?
Yes, congratulations, children.
Thank you.
You made a day actually. Today is the Children's Day. We are seeing the very good thing today. Congratulations.
Right, do you want to thank her?
Yeah,
Thank you.
And all the schools should follow this thing because so many writers will be there. So many children are interested in their story writing. The schools should take the interest to conduct these type of these things.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Radha, for calling in and sharing your views. But Niyati, take us through the experience. We understand thousands of children being published at such a young age is not a joke. So must be feeling so nice to be a winner and to be on a book.
Yeah. Actually, I'm really happy. At first, I used to just write stories for fun, because I didn't really plan on becoming an author when I grow up. But when I realized that my book is gonna my story is gonna get published, I realized that maybe I should now go into becoming an author and also the other.
Okay, Aniket, how do you feel? You were nodding vigorously when I said yes, we were published. So take us through how you felt. Are you feeling amazing that you got a book now in your name?
Yes.
Okay. Have you taken part in such competitions before?
No.
No. Okay. Are you going to after this?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Urjit? You're saying that you want to be an F1 driver, but will you pursue this?
Yes, yeah, I will.
You will.
Yeah.
Okay. Last year, how did you feel winning? Did you know you were going to be published initially?
No, I didn't, because I didn't think so that mine will be published. I didn't participate that my story is going to publish in the book and it will be really good. But I thought writing a story of my own will be really good. So that's why I wanted to write a story. I didn't care whether I'll win or I'll lose.
Okay. And how many of you wrote stories with morals in it?
Me.
With a message that... Okay. Which one is that? Tell us the story.
The foolish fox.
Okay, so why is the fox so foolish?
Because he's always going behind hunger.
Okay. And then what happens?
One day he runs after a chick and the chick runs to his nearby coop right next to the hunter's den. And then the hunter's hounds wake up and start chasing him. And then the hounds' commotion also wakes up the hunters who are sleeping. And then after chasing through the forest, at the edge of the forest, one time the hunters had dug a ditch, and in that the fox fell. And then the hunters caught him and they took him to the factory.
Okay, so the moral of the story is don't be so hungry after anything.
Don't be foolish.
Don't be foolish. Okay, great. So all of you have written a lot of stories. Ananya, you have also written a lot of stories before this, or was it the first time that you were writing?
Well, this is kind of the first time I'm writing, but after the competition was over, I have written.
Okay, so tell us some of the stories, your favorite story that you have written. Is it this story or something else?
It's the story.
Yeah? So how did you realize that, you are good at it? Did you just happen to take part because your parents wanted you to take part, or?
No, well, I love reading books, so then I thought even I could write a story. So then I wrote the story, and then that's when I started liking these stories and writing them too.
Okay. Urjit, we understand about thousands of students from different schools came together for this competition. So at one point, did you ever think there are so many students, how would I win? You won a first place, in fact. So take us through how you won that. Did you ever think you would?
Actually, I had written this story first in 4th standard, when I was in 4th grade, for an assignment. And after that, when this competition came, actually I didn't know about it. My mom got a mail from Just Books, because I'm a member of that, and so she made me participate in it. And actually, after I wrote the story, I didn't know that this story was good enough to win the competition, but it was.
So when you found out, how excited were you that you were going to be published?
When I heard that I was going to be published, I was very excited.
Okay, and your parents must be so proud of you.
Yes.
Okay, how did they react? Did they gift you anything?
Not yet.
Not yet. So you're expecting something.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. So Ida, take us through how your parents reacted. Were you very excited when you won? Did you jump?
Actually, my father was going to US, and that's when my mother got the mail. So I was sleeping, so I didn't know about it.
Okay, so when you found out, were you very happy?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your plans after this? Are you going to keep writing?
I used to write before this,
Okay.
and in my school I used to write many stories, and when I had time I used to write stories. So that's how I want.
Which is your favorite story? Do you read a lot of books? Okay, which is your favorite story, one that you love?
Sudhamurthy stories.
Okay, how many of you read books religiously? Like read a lot of books? Okay, which is your favorite book, Ananya?
Well, my favorite book is like a whole big series, the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, I get a lot of you must love J.K. Rowling and her imagination, but something that we see a lot is that a lot of kids now prefer to sit by computers. Are you one of those, or do you all love to go out and play, and do you try to write as much as possible, Lasya?
I don't like much playing, but then I do write stories sometimes, but not usually.
Okay.
Actually, a quarter of computer playing and outside playing and story writing.
You have a timetable to follow?
Not much.
Did your parents say that you cannot sit for so long on this, you cannot sit on so long for that? Or did you decide that this is how I want to be, I like this and that? You don't know, you just decided. Okay, what about you, Niyati? Do you like sitting by the computer all day? Do you like writing more or going out?
No, actually, I don't like sitting in front of the computer all day. I mean, I have a hobby of singing, so sometimes I practice singing. And my younger sister, Pooja, she plays the piano. So sometimes we try to both combine it so she can play the piano and I can sing. So that's one major hobby that we do.
Can you sing a song for us now?
Not now.
Why not? You have so many talents, show it. Today's Children's Day after all. Go ahead, sing a song for us. Don't we want to hear her sing?
Yes.
Go ahead, sing.
Okay, fine. I'll sing Mean by Taylor Swift.
Go ahead.
Okay. You, with your words like knives and swords like weapons that you use against me, you have knocked me off my feet again, got me feeling like nothing new. With your words like nails on a chalkboard, calling me out when I'm wounded. You picking on the weaker man. You can take me down with just one single blow. But you don't know what you don't know. Someday I'll be living in a big old city, and all you're ever gonna be is me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really good. Should we clap for her? Great. Okay, what about you, Uchi? Do you have any talents? Do you like doing something besides writing, besides, of course, following F1?
Even I have doing some singing, and but that usually doesn't happen every day.
Okay, is that why you're ensuring that I don't make you sing today?
No. But except for that, I'm not really allowed to play on the computer at all. I'm limited to 2 hours on weekends, and I can't play any time else. So I read. I have lots of books, so I read, and I go outside to play, and I watch TV.
Okay. Ida, what's your favorite hobby besides writing? Is it dreaming?
My favorite hobby besides writing is when drawing.
You like drawing? Okay. So again, is that based on your imagination, or do you like seeing things and drawing?
I like both.
You like both. Okay. And what about you, Kunjal? Do you have any hobbies besides writing?
Reading.
You
Reading
like
all
reading?
kinds of books.
Okay.
I also like drawing and painting.
Okay. And you, Ananya?
Well, I like dancing and playing chess.
Okay. You also dance?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you dance?
Bharatanatyam, and sometimes I dance on some Bollywood songs.
Okay, great. So, obviously, you've started off as writers at such a young age. What about your parents? Do all your parents want you to become writers, Lasya?
My mother says that you can become whatever you think, whatever you love to do. So she doesn't force me to do anything. I love reading books because of my mother, because she reads a lot of books.
Okay. And what about your school? They must be very proud of you.
Yeah.
Okay. What did they tell you?
They told that good because I mean, in my class there are not so many people who write
Exactly.
books, so I was one of them. That's it.
Okay, great. So, is your school planning on bringing on more competitions like this to ensure that more of people like you who love to write actually are brought out?
I don't know
Okay, great.
about that.
Aniket, how did your parents react?
I don't know.
You don't know how your parents reacted? Didn't you speak to them after you won? What about your school? What did they have to say?
My parents told my ma'am in the parent teacher meet, but my ma'am didn't understand anything.
I saw a lot of you giggling at that. You all must be like, teacher doesn't know much. Niyati, what about you? What did your school react like? How did they feel about you winning and bringing such laurels to their school?
Actually, I didn't tell most of the people in my school. I only told my close friends. But our principal, Demelo sir, he really encourages us to go to the library and read a lot of books. And I hope that they do one competition like this.
Okay. Urjit, what about you?
I don't know whether they're going to organize a competition like this. And my mom had told the teacher about the competition, but we have a website on which all the news is updated from the school. So they put a post on that, and but they didn't do anything else.
Okay. Okay. And what about you, Ida? How did your school react?
I didn't tell my school about it, but when we had our evidence, I took the prize that I got.
And you showed it to them. So were they very proud of you?
Yeah, but they didn't know that I won the first prize. They knew that, but they didn't know anything
You all
else.
seem very modest. Most of you haven't told your school that you all won such an amazing gift and all of you have been published. Kunshal, did you tell your school?
No, I didn't tell my school. I just told some of my close friends.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell them about the book, of course.
And what about you, Ananya?
Well, I didn't tell my school, but my dad said that after the book's published, then I'll show the book and the award.
So have you done that yet? The book is published.
Well, it got published today, so I didn't do it.
So you haven't done it yet. You will be doing it though.
Yeah.
And what about most of you? Now, we have seen this particular competition. All of you have won 45 others and all of you have been published. Now, do you plan on participating in more such competitions? Yes.
Yes.
All of you?
Yeah.
Okay, despite not wanting to become a writer, most of you. So, also take us through exactly how you get the inspiration. Do you all just dream about it and decide to write about it? Aniket?
Actually, I keep on dreaming in my free time. So I think I got some idea from, and I got the last situations idea from my last grade's book, the textbook we tell. So I got it from there.
Okay. What about you, Niyati? Talking about this story, talking about the one that you wrote for this competition, where did you get the inspiration from?
I mainly got the inspiration from where, like, not many people, as I said, not many people, they give importance to a tree. They don't really care about a tree, but trees are still living things, so we should still care about it. And I hope after they've seen this, most people will care about a tree way more, and also their parents.
Exactly. Okay, great. You already gave us that wonderful message. Urjit, what about you?
I got my inspiration first when I was in 3rd standard. We were made to watch this movie called Back to the Future, and we got a summer holiday assignment on it. And then later on in 4th grade, I wrote that story, and then I made a few changes to it, and I wrote it in this competition.
Okay. Ida, what about you? Your story is called The Big Surprise. Where did you think of it? Did you dream about it, or did you think about how you wanted a gift from Santa?
I used to wish for Santa to give me a gift. That's what I wrote about.
So you wrote about it instead. Kunjal, what about you? Because yours is a very different story. It's about mosquitoes.
All the time people say stay away from mosquitoes, they're very dangerous. And I thought about all the diseases they spread, so I thought, what if they were harmless? What if they were plant eating instead of blood sucking?
But there are so many animals, there are so many other insects which we all consider dangerous. So why mosquitoes?
The one we are most exposed to, even if you close the doors, close the windows, somehow they will enter into the house, somehow they will bite you at the night. Mosquitoes are the ones we're most exposed to. The most they somehow wriggle in underneath and bite you.
No, but we have to still keep in mind they are very dangerous. They spread diseases. Ananya, what about you? Where did you get your inspiration from? Because you told us that you haven't written stories before this. This was your first story that you had written.
Well, I got the inspiration. Actually, my school gave me an assignment in 4th grade, so I wrote this, and then they just gave the starting passage. I had to continue the rest. So I continued it, and then and actually there is one more reason, because I like wizarding stories a lot.
Okay, great. So finally, Lasya, a lot of young children must be very inspired by you. They must be ensuring that they also start writing a lot more. What do you have to say to that? Do you think that a lot more people have to start writing?
Yeah, I think yes, because they can imagine more about things, and maybe when they write, they may feel like as if their dream's gonna come true. Because when I was writing, I felt that something is like happening true.
Great. Okay. Thank you all so much for coming to our studio. All the best to all of you, and congratulations once again for being published at such a young age. I cannot even imagine it, even at this age, to be published. So a great start to your career there. Thank you all so much, and all the best once again. Well, on this very Children's Day, a great news coming there. A bunch of children, 45 children winning a competition and getting published between the age group of 6 to 12. Well, we wish them all the best.